Perfect, I whispered, staring at my reflection in the bathroom mirror. My voice was calm, but inside a storm raged. Deep brown stains traced cruel patterns across my face, twisting lines of permanent black market henna. They weren't art. They were punishment. My name is Alexandra. I'm 22. And last night while I slept, my parents marked my face to make sure I didn't steal the spotlight from my younger sister's graduation. It wasn't the kind of henna used for weddings or celebrations. This was the dangerous, illegal kind, the kind that scars. My modeling career, carefully built alongside my studies, had relied on my clear skin. Now it was ruined. My mother stood in the doorway, arms folded, smiling. "Now you won't be a distraction at Sarah's ceremony," she said. "You know how sensitive she is when people focus on you." I touched the stains on my cheeks, forehead, chin. This wasn't impulsive. They had planned it. 3 days until graduation. Months, maybe years, until these marks fade, if they ever do. My father stepped in behind her, his voice flat. "You'll thank us later. Family peace matters more than your vanity. Sarah deserves her moment." I thought of the countless times they'd silenced my achievements for Sarah's sake. When I made the dean's list, they said nothing. Sarah had failed 2 classes. When I landed a luxury brand campaign, they begged me to delay the announcement. Sarah had just been rejected from an internship. But this was beyond anything. Did Sarah know? I asked, still facing the mirror. "Of course not," my mother scoffed. "She's too kind. She'd have tried to stop us. But she'll understand when all eyes are on her, not you." I turned to face them. My composure made my mother's smile flicker. They expected sobbing. Rage. Despair. Instead they got ice. "You're right," I said, reaching for my phone. "It's perfect timing. I have a meeting with my agency today." My father's smugness cracked. "You can't go in public like that. Just wait until it fades." "Oh, I'm going," I replied, snapping selfies of my marred face. "In fact, I'm documenting everything. What you did, why you did it, and who did it." My mother paled. "Alexandra, don't be dramatic. We did this for Sarah." "No," I said coldly. "You did this for yourselves. This was never about Sarah. This was about control." I grabbed my bag and keys, watching the panic bloom in their eyes. "Where are you going?" my father demanded. "First to the police, to file an assault report. Then to my agency. And maybe afterward, to Sarah. Let's see how she feels about being protected by people who mutilated her sister." My mother gasped. "You wouldn't. It'll ruin her big day." "I'm not the one who ruined anything," I said, walking past them. "But don't worry. I'll make sure these scars tell the right story." As I drove to the police station, my phone buzzed nonstop. "Please come home. We can fix this. Don't ruin Sarah's graduation." They had no idea. I'd been one step ahead. 3 months ago, I discovered their secret group chat. Discussions about the henna, about doing it while I slept. Instead of confronting them, I started collecting evidence. Screenshots, audio recordings, even footage from a hidden camera I'd installed in my bedroom. They thought they were clever. But I'd been preparing for this moment. I parked outside the police station, brushing my fingers over the marks again. They thought they were writing shame into my skin. But these scars would tell a different story. Not their story of sacrifice. Mine, of survival and justice. Detective Martinez didn't hesitate. "This is assault," she said after reviewing the photos, the messages, the recordings. "And it was premeditated." My phone vibrated again. My mother texting. "We did this because we love you. Please don't ruin everything." I turned the phone off. Next stop. Platinum Modeling Agency. Lisa, my agent, gasped when she saw me. Before she could speak, I opened my laptop. "Before you drop me, hear me out," I said, launching into a pitch I'd spent weeks refining. Campaign. Not about beauty. About resilience. Turning scars into strength. Lisa leaned in, shock shifting to interest. "You knew?" she asked. "For 3 months," I said. "They thought this would silence me. But I've been building a louder voice. 2 hours later, I walked out not just with my contracts still intact, but with a new partnership. One with major domestic violence prevention organizations. My story, and my marked face, were about to become part of a national campaign exposing family abuse and control. When I arrived at Sarah's apartment, she took one look at me and burst into tears. "Oh my God, Alex. What did they do to you?" I sat beside her on the couch, gently opening my laptop. I showed her everything. The group chats, the voice recordings, the plans made behind closed doors. "They did this," I said softly, "so I wouldn't steal your spotlight at graduation." Sarah's face crumpled. "I never wanted this. I know I felt insecure, always comparing myself to you, but I never wanted you hurt." "I know," I said, hugging her tightly. "That's why I didn't tell you. You're not responsible for what they chose to do." She wiped her eyes, her expression hardening. "I can't accept their graduation gifts now. Not the car. Not the party. Not after this." "You don't have to punish yourself," I told her. "But I need you to understand, I'm not hiding these marks. I'm not skipping your graduation. Whatever happens next, that's on them, not you." Sarah sat up straighter, something shifting inside her. "Good," she said. "I don't want you to hide." She unlocked her phone, scrolling through her social media profiles, still active from her university influencer days. "In fact, I want to help you tell the truth." Minutes after Sarah posted our story, our parents' phones started ringing. Their carefully curated image began to unravel faster than the henna had dried on my skin. That evening, while we sat planning our next steps, a new message pinged in the family group chat. It was from Mom, a long paragraph about forgiveness, family unity, and how one unfortunate decision shouldn't tear us apart. Sarah replied first. "I'm returning the car. Cancel the party. And if you contact either of us before we're ready, the next post will include everything. The recordings, the screenshots, all of it." I added, "The police report has already been filed. The campaign shoot starts next week. You wanted people to notice me at graduation. Well, congratulations. They will." Mom started typing. Started again. "Please. Let's talk about this as a family." Sarah answered before I could. "We are. Just not the way you planned." I caught a glimpse of myself in the hallway mirror. The marks looked different now. Not like damage but like armor. These weren't scars of silence. They were symbols of truth. The campaign launched 2 days before graduation. Major women's magazines picked up the story. Social media lit up. My face was everywhere. "Parents marked daughter's face to dim her light," the headline read. And beneath it, my story. As I stood in front of the mirror that morning, I applied makeup not to hide the marks, but to draw attention to them. To let them speak. To let others see what survival looks like. Messages flooded in. People sharing their own experiences of emotional control disguised as love. I wasn't just a model anymore. I was a voice. Then Sarah called. "They're blowing up my phone," she said. "Mom and Dad say they won't come if you're there. What do you want me to do?" I paused, though I already knew her answer. "I want my sister there," she said firmly. Period. They did this. They can live with the consequences. The graduation ceremony was held in the university's grand auditorium. As I walked in, a ripple of whispers followed me, not of shame but recognition. People knew the story now. The campaign had done its job. My parents' attempt to erase me had made me more visible than ever. I spotted them in the family section. Their faces went pale the moment they saw me. My mother half rose, probably intending to make a scene, but my father tugged her back down. They had finally realized. Any public outburst would only expose them further. The ceremony began. When Sarah's name was called, I stood and clapped louder than anyone. She looked radiant, confident, finally shining on her own terms. As she took the stage and accepted her diploma, she turned, found me in the crowd and mouthed, "I love you, sis." The audience erupted in applause. They knew. At the reception, our parents tried to approach us more than once. But Sarah's friends closed ranks around us, forming a protective circle. They'd seen the campaign. They stood with Sarah and her scarred sister. Eventually, Mom managed to reach us near the refreshment table. "Alexandra," she hissed, trying to stay composed. "We need to talk about this circus you've created. You're embarrassing the entire family." I turned to face her, my voice steady and loud enough for those nearby to hear. "Embarrassing the family. Like marking your daughter's face while she slept. We did it because we love you both," she snapped, lowering her voice. "We were trying to protect Sarah." Sarah stepped forward. "No, Mom. You did it because you're controlling. 'Cause you always have been. Love doesn't leave scars." Our father stormed over, face red with rage. "Both of you outside. Now." But another voice cut in. "Actually, they're staying right here." It was Lisa, my agent, standing with a full camera crew behind her. "We're filming for the next phase of the campaign. Would either of you like to make a statement about why you permanently mocked your daughter's face?" My parents froze. No more hiding. No more spinning the story. The truth was being recorded and witnessed. Their perfect image of a loving, respectable family shattered, replaced by the reality they worked so hard to suppress. That night, Sarah and I celebrated her graduation our way. Pizza, childhood photo albums, and the kind of laughter that only comes after surviving something dark together. We flipped through old pictures, amazed at how young we looked, how unaware we were of the manipulation already pulling at the strings between us. "I got a job offer," Sarah said suddenly, holding out her phone. "A domestic violence prevention org. They want me to join their youth outreach program." I hugged her, full of pride. "Look at us," I said, smiling. "Turning their plan on its head." Ping from my phone, Lisa. The campaign had reached over 10 million people in just 2 days. Organizations across the globe wanted to share our story. The marks on my face would fade. But the impact, that would last forever. Sarah brushed her fingers gently over one of the patterns on my cheek. "They thought they were writing their story," she said with a soft smile. "But you turned it into a manifesto." Another text arrived, from Mom. "When you're both ready to apologize and put this unfortunate incident behind us, we'll be waiting." Sarah and I burst out laughing. They still didn't get it. There was no going back. No sweeping this under the rug. Their actions hadn't just scarred my face. They'd transformed our entire family dynamic. They tried to dim my light. Instead, they exposed their own darkness. Each scar told a story of survival. Each pattern a truth they tried to hide. They wanted me to disappear at Sarah's graduation. Instead, they made our story impossible to ignore. As we posed for a selfie, our smiles real, unburdened, I realized the irony of it all. They tried to write control on my skin. Instead, they gave me the perfect canvas to showcase my strength. The story wasn't ending. It was just beginning. And this time we were holding the pen.